There will come a moment in your life when everything feels unfair, when the doors close without explanation, when people doubt you, when the effort you gave returns nothing but silence. And in that moment, you will ask a dangerous question. Why is this happening to me? But what if it's not happening to you? What if it's happening for you? Because every life, every meaningful, powerful, unforgettable life is marked by one constant: tests. Not punishments, not bad luck, tests. And the people who rise are not the ones who avoid them. They are the ones who embrace them. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will understand why the hardest seasons often mean you're closest to transformation. The hidden mistake that makes most people fail their life tests. How pressure is secretly building the version of you the future requires. And why one decision made in the middle of difficulty can change the entire trajectory of your life. But first, you need to understand something most people never realize. Life never sends advanced tests to beginners. Have you ever noticed that the challenges in your life seem to grow exactly as you grow? When you were younger, smaller problems felt overwhelming. Now you look back and think, I survived that. Here is a truth few people talk about. Life is a precise examiner. It does not randomly assign hardship. It measures your capacity, often before you recognize it yourself. You are not being tested because you are weak. You are being tested because there is untapped strength within you trying to surface. Think about the strongest steel. It is not created in comfort. It is forged in extreme heat. Without the fire, it remains ordinary metal. And without your tests, you remain a smaller version of who you could become. Most people misunderstand this moment. When pressure rises, they assume something is wrong. But pressure is often proof that something is going right. Because growth demands resistance. Always has. Always will. Let me challenge the way you see difficulty. Stop asking, why is this so hard? Start asking, what is this trying to build in me? That single shift moves you from victim to participant, from powerless to evolving. The hidden purpose of every test. Every test carries a question, not one spoken aloud, but one your life answers through action. The question is usually this: will you shrink or will you expand? Tests reveal identity. When things are easy, anyone can appear confident. Anyone can look disciplined. Anyone can seem strong. But difficulty is a mirror. It shows you who you really are, and more importantly, who you are becoming. Consider this. Courage does not exist without fear. Patience does not exist without delay. Resilience does not exist without setbacks. So when life stretches you, it is not trying to break you. It is trying to introduce you to qualities you cannot access any other way. Imagine if every desire arrived instantly. No waiting, no struggle, no uncertainty. You would gain outcomes, but lose depth, lose wisdom, lose the internal architecture that sustains success. Because the greatest tragedy is not failing a test. The greatest tragedy is succeeding without becoming the person capable of sustaining that success. Why most people fail their tests. Here is the mistake that quietly derails countless lives. Resistance. People fight the very experiences meant to elevate them. They complain. They withdraw. They numb themselves. They blame. And in doing so, they miss the lesson. Understand this clearly. A test repeated is a lesson ignored. Have you ever noticed patterns in your life? The same type of disappointment. The same relationship dynamic. The same internal battles. Different faces. Same test. Life is patient. It will present the lesson again and again until you respond differently. Not perfectly, but consciously. Because passing a test rarely requires brilliance. It requires growth. There will be days when quitting feels logical. Days when exhaustion whispers, enough. But what you call the breaking point is often the building point. the moment right before expansion. Think of a seed underground. From the outside, nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, pressure is splitting the shell open. If the seed could speak, it might call that destruction. Yet, it is actually transformation. Many people quit in the soil, never realizing they were inches from the light. Pressure is a privilege. This may sound strange, but hear it deeply. Pressure is often a sign of proximity. You don't feel intense resistance when you are playing small. You feel it when you approach something meaningful. When your life begins asking more of you, it is often because more is trying to come through you. History quietly confirms this pattern. Every person who has done something remarkable faced seasons that looked impossible while they were living them. Not comfortable seasons, not predictable ones, demanding ones. Because the future you are meant to step into requires a stronger nervous system, a wider perspective, a deeper emotional capacity. Tests are training, invisible preparation. You cannot carry a heavy future with fragile shoulders. So life strengthens them, not gently, but effectively. Instead of saying, "This is too much," try saying, "This is making me more." Feel the difference. One closes you, the other expands you. Language shapes endurance, the decision that changes everything. In the middle of every test, there is a quiet crossroads. Most people don't recognize it because it doesn't look dramatic. It looks like a small internal decision. The decision is this: will this harden me or refine me? Hardening leads to bitterness. Refinement leads to wisdom. Hardening closes the heart. Refinement deepens it. Hardening says, life is against me. Refinement asks, who is this shaping me into? You cannot always choose your circumstances, but you always influence your response. And your response becomes your identity. Over time, people are not defined by what happened to them. They are defined by how they met it. Picture someone walking through a storm. Winds pushing, rain relentless, visibility low. One person curses the sky and stops moving. Another leans forward and keeps walking. Both experience the same storm. Only one reaches the destination. The storm was never the deciding factor. Movement was. Tests expand your capacity. Here is something extraordinary about human beings. We adapt. What once overwhelmed you becomes manageable. What once scared you becomes familiar. What once felt impossible becomes part of your normal. But this expansion only happens if you stay present long enough to stretch. Avoid every challenge, and your world shrinks. Face them, and your world enlarges. Slowly, then suddenly. One day, you handle something calmly that the past version of you could not have survived. And you realize the tests worked, not because they were easy, but because they changed you. Ask yourself honestly, are you interpreting your tests as evidence that you are failing, or as evidence that you are evolving? Perspective determines endurance. Endurance determines transformation. Stop waiting for easier. Many people put their life on hold. I'll move forward when things calm down. I'll start when the timing is perfect. I'll act when I feel ready. But readiness is often forged through challenge, not before it. If you wait for a life without tests, you wait forever, because the path does not get easier. You get stronger. Confidence is not built by avoiding difficulty. It is built by facing something you weren't sure you could handle, and discovering you could, again and again and again. Do not wish for lighter loads. Build stronger shoulders. The quiet strength nobody sees. There is a type of strength the world rarely applauds. The strength of continuing quietly. No announcements, no validation, no spotlight, just steady courage. Some of the most important battles you will ever win will be invisible to others. Choosing growth over comfort. Choosing patience over reaction. Choosing integrity when shortcuts tempt you. These victories accumulate. They reshape you internally, long before the external world notices. But eventually, the outer life catches up to the inner transformation. It always does. Conclusion. One day you will look back at a season that nearly broke you and feel something unexpected: gratitude. Because you will see clearly. It introduced you to your strength. It clarified your values. It redirected your path. It revealed your resilience. You will understand that the test was never your enemy. It was your initiation. So when the next test arrives, and it will, pause before resisting it. Take a breath. Stand a little taller. And remember, you are not being singled out. You are being summoned upward. Great lives are not found. They are forged through meetings with difficulty, through moments when turning back seemed easier. But you didn't. Embrace the test. Not because it is comfortable, but because on the other side of it is a version of you with greater clarity, greater strength, greater depth. A version of you capable of carrying the life you once only imagined. The test is not here to stop you. It is here to prepare you. So lean in, grow through it. And when you emerge, stronger, steadier, unmistakably transformed, you won't just pass the test. You will become the person the test came to create. Grow quietly. Rise daily.